If it's Sunday, that must be the wash. So John, I just watched a video and I wanted to talk about it while it was still fresh in my mind. I like the question, do fences make good neighbors? Because it ties into a lot of important problems, I think, and I dig that you related it to can we build a wall high enough? It's a matter of safety just as much as it's a matter of ownership and control. Well, certainly this is what we fight wars about a lot, so it's a problem. But if we didn't have borders, maybe we'd be in a state of ceaseless war? With no boundaries, what's to keep the strongest from ruling? What's to keep Pennsylvania from swallowing Ohio? Ohio. The smaller, flatter Pennsylvania. I think you're right, too. It is at its most bizarre when a discovery or an accident falls victim to these border disputes. Why can't we all just, work together as a worldwide community to get things done? And I know I'm not the originator of this idea, but I think it has something to do with the fact that we can't think globally, actually, as people. For tens of thousands of years, we basically had to worry about our family or our tribe or our town, and for most of history, that's been 100 people, hundreds of people, at most. Sometimes it dealt with 10 people or 3 people. It's not millions. It's certainly not billions. And we've only been confronted with global implications of our actions in like the last maybe 50 or 100 years. So obviously it shouldn't be an excuse, but maybe we are evolutionarily handicapped when trying to deal with large-scale issues. So maybe things will get better over time. As generations grow up with the internet and television and global trade, maybe they'll begin to grasp the idea of a global community. Or maybe they'll continue to be selfish pricks. What do you think? Do I need to find a steadier table for this endeavor? Huh? What do you think? So what I want to talk about today is where I was for the past week. Falmouth, Massachusetts. And it's a good thing that I missed a week because this might feel 2 videos. Falmouth, Massachusetts is where my mom's parents lived for most of their lives and where my family has been going for vacation since I was a wee babe with copious amounts of hair. It was a good hair day. Don't let anybody fool you. Look at that shit. How do you do that? You could make like a tower with your hair. It had beaches, it had small towns, it had museums, it had parks. But, as I will perhaps cover in another video, I'm not an outdoorsy kid. So when we went to the beach, I spent all my time in the water. I hated lying out on the sand. And at home, I played with whatever portable game system I had at the time. Maybe Game Boy Advance, maybe Game Gear. I could only play with that for like an hour, of course, because then after that, the batteries would run out. Yeah, you didn't think there'd be any nerd in this one. Ha! Yeah. Ha! Watched Red Sox games with my grandma, or searched couch cushions for quarters to take down to the bowling alley and challenge the town kids at Street Fighter 2. That was a candlepin bowling alley too. Candlepin. Probably had something to do with the lack of space. We always visited Nopska Lighthouse when we were there, but I didn't like to look at the lighthouse or the view. I wanted to go down the sharp decline and run around on the rocks because there was basically a perfectly flat belt of them all around the hill. When I was old enough to drive, I'd go out there and sit on my rock. It was my rock, basically, because I was the only one young enough to haul myself up there. The house itself was tiny, had 1 bathroom, and was always jammed with people. No matter when we went up during the summer, there were always uncles and cousins and friends there. They were always sleeping in one of the 2 extra bedrooms and hanging out in the kitchen while cooking dinner. And why does everyone always hang out in the kitchen? Okay, quick grandparent primer. A. They smoked for 70 years. Suck it, emphysema. B. My grandma was actually the bigger sports fan and the bigger smoker, but she could cook swordfish and or scalloped potatoes like nobody's business. C. My grandpa was a bigger talker, and he would routinely chat up telemarketers. Hello? Oh, hi, Ricky. No, I already got one of those. It works great. But how are you doing? They were both fantastic, wonderful, welcoming people that I could do a whole video about, but I won't. Sadly, they're both gone now, and no one could keep up with the property taxes and heating and maintenance costs of their home, so we sold the house 6 years ago. We didn't go up for a few years after that, but it was just, it's too awesome to not go up there. So we started to rent houses in Falmouth. My mother would always insist that they were as close to town as possible, and then we started going up again. So basically what I want to do next is talk about how it's changed. I'll get that done soon, this week-ish. Told you it was going to be more than one. Told you it was going to be more than one video. Why don't you listen to me? Why don't you listen to me ever? It's like I'm not even talking. Anyway, I hope you had a good week. And until I get the next part up, peace out.